Hi there, I'm Tomas Michaud. I'm going to show you an easy version of House of the Rising Sun. Now, the song is originally, or at least the animal version, is in the key of A minor, but we're going to do it in the key of E minor. Two reasons. One is the animal version is very high pitch-wise, and I really can't sing that high or any close to it. Now, if this is low for your voice, you can always add the capo and raise it up. But I think a lot of you will find this much easier to sing. The second reason is no bar chord. So let's get started. I'll play a little bit for you, show you what we're aiming at. There is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun. And it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. Okay, so that's really the whole song, barring the little interlude between the parts, because it just repeats that part, the chords and the melody over and over with new words. So let's go ahead and break this down a little bit. We'll start with that first line, 4 chords. We're going to do the E minor chord, a G chord. Now I'm using a 4-finger version of the G chord. You can use also a 3-finger. Some people would prefer going from E minor to the 3-finger because it's a little closer. I find it just as easy to go to the 4-finger G as well. We're going to do a C major chord, and I'm doing a regular folk style C chord. And of course the A chord was in there. Now I'm doing a 2-finger A again. A 3-finger A works just as well, and if you prefer with the pinky, that works too. I like this version, so I'm going to go with it. So let's start with the first line. We're just going to map out the chords. Go ahead and strum your E minor. Da-da, to G, da-da, to A, da, and then to C, da-da. So that's the first line. We're going to add a little strumming to that. Now this is kind of a simple strum that works fine with this song. I will show you, by the way, a strum that's more like the Animals recorded version towards the end of this video, if you're up for it. So let's start with the E minor. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And that's one chord. And we move on to the next chord. So try that strum with me. How about without the chord to start off with? So it's down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. You could call this a 6/8 strum. Each of these beats would be an 8th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And usually feels like it's in 2 pulses. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, ready, go. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. I tend to like to count it in kind of like 2. 1, 2, da, da. Let's try that on the E minor chord now. Here we go. Ready, go. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down. Okay, now let's do one strum per chord. E minor, G, A, and C. Play those chords with me, just once each. E minor, G, A, and C. Okay, get the movement so that you can go from one to the other fairly easily. E minor, again, come on, play along, you got this. G, A, and C. Okay, here we go with the strum now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 to G, A, to C. Okay, on to the next line. Now we're using the same chords, E minor to G, but we're going to end on B7. We're going to do 2 bars of B7. So if you don't know that B7 chord, follow along with me. We got the second finger all on the 2nd fret, 3rd finger, that's the 3rd string, and the pinky on the 1st string. Good chord to know. Now the 1st finger goes between the 2nd and the 3rd, on the 4th string. So I've got the 5th string, 4th string, 1st finger, and then the 3rd string, 3rd finger, and the pinky on the 1st. You'll let that 2nd string ring. You don't really hit the low E string. I tend to let my 2nd finger touch it there. I just slightly touch it. So even if I hit it, it doesn't really sound. B7, good chord. Let's practice on the B7 for a second. Ready, go, B7. Take it off. Go ahead and finger it. Ready, go. Okay, now let's put that. The second line is going to be E minor, G, and then B7 and B7. Play that out with me. E minor, 1 strum. G, and then B7. No, there, that's it. And then again, B7. Now with the strum. Ready? Let's do it. E minor, G, and B7. Okay, so that's the first 2 lines. That's half of pretty much the song because, again, it repeats over and over. But the second half is almost exactly the same as the first half. It really makes it a fairly easy song to learn. So the second line starts off with the E minor. Well, let's play it together. I'll show you where it changes. It basically, instead of ending on B7, it goes back to the E minor. Here we go. 1 strum per chord. This is the 3rd line. E minor, G, A, and C. Now the last line, back to E minor, B7, and ending on E minor. And one more time. That's the whole verse, chorus. It's all kind of built together there. So let's just go through that whole thing one time. We'll do it with the strum. Play along with me. And then I'll show you a couple more things, including a cool strum that you might want to give it a try. Okay, here we go. Starting with the E minor. And we'll do 1 strum per chord until we get to that end of the phrase. Ready, go. To G now. Going to A. And now C. Back to E minor. Going to G. And now B7. 2 B7s. To E minor. 3rd line. To G. A. And C. And last line to E minor. B7. And E minor. Again. So, what do you think? You ready for a cool new strum? Well, totally optional. If this is hard for you, work this, really. This is a good folk version of House of the Rising Sun. Now, for the animal version, they're doing this strum. I'll play a little more so you can hear what it sounds like. There is a house in New Orleans, they call the Rising Sun. You get the idea. So let me break that strum down for you if you're up for it. We'll do it on the E minor. So I'm hitting the bass note first, then I strum down, and then pick back. I arpeggiate. That's a fancy word for saying I hit 1 note at a time. The chord 1 note at a time. 3 notes there. 1, 2, 3. So it's down, strum, and then da, da, da. There's one more little thing. You probably noticed it doesn't quite sound right yet. It's because when I strum down, I'm not just strumming straight down. I'm articulating the notes and kind of anticipating, meaning I'm hitting before the beat. So it's down, and then I strum like that. Try that with me. Just the bass note, and then strum down. I call that a rake, where I kind of articulate each of the notes. Down, rake, and then back. Try it with me. E minor, bass, rake, and then back. Again, do it. Bass, rake. Again, bass, rake. Now let's try that on the G chord. Same thing, same bass note, low G. Ready, go. Bass, re, and then arpeggiate. I like that word. And how about the A? We're going to hit the 5th string for the A. And don't worry too much. If you accidentally hit the E, it's not going to really sound bad. A, re, back. Try that one again. A, re. Now to the C, same 5th string for the bass note. So we'll keep going on. A, E minor, bass, 6th string, right? G, and to B7, 2 B7s at the end. 5th string is the bass. Now, the second half repeats that same whole thing. E minor to G. Go ahead and play along. Bass, E, G, A, 5th string, and to the C. And then we'll end with the E minor, B7, and E. So I'll leave it up to you. Either strum. If you're up for this, practice the strums separate, maybe on one chord or each of the chords separately, and then put it together. One more thing before we close for today. There's a little interlude that connects each of the sections together. I'm going to show you that. Fortunately, it's the same chords and almost in exactly the same order as the main section. I'll show you how it sounds. So the last line goes E minor, B7, and E minor. Now it goes right into the interlude from there. As you hit that E minor, then you go to the G, A, C, E minor, B7, and E minor, B7, and then you start right into the next section. Da 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 da. And so on. Now, it's easier to work on this if you have the chords and the words in front of you. So I've created a sheet, and I'll put it as a download on my blog post. I'll give you a link down below so you can get a hold of that. Thanks for joining me today. It's been a pleasure doing this with you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. I really love to hear from you. Thanks again. See you later.